9 in every 10 startups fail. 10% fail within their first year, 45% fail by the 5th year, and by the 10th year, 9 out of 10 startups have usually shut down operations. And I want you to know the reasons for it. 42% for lack of product market fit, which by the way is not an afterthought. You don't fix it after launch. Product market fit starts at the idea level. 29% run out of cash. Maybe they dried up their funding or their reserve, all because they wanted to grow too quickly. 23% of startups fail because they did not hire correctly. They might have taken too long to get a co-founder or a CXO, maybe they didn't hire enough helping hands, or maybe they hired too many, which again caused them to lose their cash. 18% fail because they never priced their product or service appropriately. If your startup is solving a 1,000 rupee problem, why would the consumer pay 5,000? I could go on, and all of these reasons sound very basic, but you know what kills most startups? Not any of these. Analysis paralysis, procrastination, and fear. For every founder that sets out to build a business, there are hundreds, maybe thousands that never do it. And with AI making business processes simpler than ever, now might be the worst time to sit out the opportunity. In 2024 alone, Indian AI startups raised over $780 million, a 39.9% increase from the previous year, showing growing confidence in AI-driven solutions. Krutrim reached India's first AI unicorn status, hitting a $1 billion valuation in just 9 months. With AI's no-code tools and automated solutions making complex tasks accessible, the barriers to starting a business are lower than ever before. Now, the only thing holding you back is your willingness to act. Not a very long time back, I was also just like that, not knowing what to do, where to begin. But today, along with my co-founders, I run a 250 plus member team here at Yas. We have been bootstrapped from day one and profitable. And in all my experience of running the company, I have come to learn a simple framework that decides the trajectory of a startup. A framework that has since come to be my Bible. A framework that is battle-tested from India's most successful entrepreneurs who have all built sustainable businesses. It's called ABC. And today, I'm going to share what that is. My name is Loveena Kamath, and here's the full disclosure. We're very excited to be a part of the Zero1 Media Network by Zerodha. Together, we will bring you well-researched videos on careers, different industries, and the evolving job market. And if you like the content we bring for you, please show us your support by subscribing because it really keeps us motivated to keep going. The biggest trap that most founders and dormant founders face is analysis. Excess of it or lack of it. Most founders also take too long to analyze the market, their preparedness, and they overcomplicate things even before starting. You can't think about the 10 to 100 strategy before you've solved for 0 to 1. And when you falter the first step, that is A, you are bound to mess up B and C. You're going to build incorrectly and you won't be able to correct it. 42% startups fail because they didn't achieve product market fit. That is a huge percentage, and it's all an analysis problem where founders are stuck trying to find a problem for a solution they've already created. So let's fix that part for you. There is a very simple solution to this. Ikigai for founders. A founder struggles with one basic question in the beginning: what niche should I build in? And Ikigai answers it for you. The Japanese concept of Ikigai tells you to choose to do things in life that fall at the intersection of 4 circles. What are those circles for founders? Circle 1, skill. What you are naturally good at. Not wish you were good at, but actually good at. There is a difference between passion and expertise. I would love to build a toy company, but do I have the expertise? Circle 2, passion. What you like doing. This is important because you will be doing exactly that for months and oftentimes with no immediate results. If you're not passionate, you will eventually burn out. And if you're not experienced, you will be outcompeted. Circles 1 and 2 are all about you, the internal attributes of a founder that decide the success of their business. Circles 3 and 4 are about the external markers. Circle 3, Demand. What the world wants. Not what they think or say they want, what they actually want and will pay for. Everyone wants to watch good cinema, but are they willing to pay 100 rupees to YouTube to watch a film when they can just pirate it? What's crucial to understand is demand and market are different things. Just because there is demand does not mean there is a market. Circle 4. Market. And speaking of market, Circle 4 is the market, your TAM. Is the market willing to pay for the business you are about to build? And if so, how many and how much? If you notice closely, even VCs or investors are looking for answers to exactly these questions. A good founder will have all these 4 circles sorted, and not just 2 or 3, otherwise the cracks will show. Take Kamath brothers from Zerodha as an example. They had a finance background, they had a love for trading, they identified India's need for affordable brokerage, and the solution they had was tech-enabled and could be scaled. So ask yourself these questions in exactly this order. When you find the answer, move to the next question, and if you don't find the answer at step 3 or 4, come back and try a different answer till you get all 4. Question 1 and 2 will be easier to answer as you have all the info for those inside you. For questions 3 and 4, you will need research, and you get exactly 14 days for market research. Any more and you will be wasting your time. Any less and it's probably half-baked and will land you in trouble later. So week 1, just do market validation. Check Google Trends India. Are people searching for your solution themselves? If you have a business that you think people want and they just don't know yet, then you have a habit change problem at hand, and that takes a lot of time, money, and resources to accomplish. I'm not saying that it cannot be done, it's just more unlikely and will require a higher resolve. Check traffic on Social Blade, Just Dial, IndiaMart, on LinkedIn and Reddit. Use ChatGPT, Perplexity, etc. to assess the market size, the CAGR, the competitors, if any, and their market share. Get the primary analysis on the scale of the problem. And when everything is done, you step out of your room and head out into the real world. No forms, no surveys. Talk to real people. Vendors, potential clients, customers, all of them. Understand the pain points that consumers face. Understand the shortages in logistics, in operations that vendors struggle with. Without addressing all stakeholder pain points, you don't have a startup. You have a solution that's looking for a problem. What separates successful founders from others is that they talk to real people before building anything. If you're building a fitness app for working women, don't send online surveys. Go to corporate gyms during lunch hours. Spend 2 hours talking to women who actually work out. Trust me, you will learn more in 2 hours than 2 months of Google research. So step out and ask these 4 questions. And when you have the answers, that's when it will be time to start building. This is the stage where the next big chunk of startups and founders choke. And usually it's because of either of these 2 things. Being overconfident and building unnecessary arms or features too soon, making themselves cash flow intensive, burning the reserves and making it impossible to pivot. Or being underconfident and thinking, I need more expertise, I need to know the operational know-how, I need a co-founder, I need capital, I need coding skills, and so on. But let me tell you upfront, it is all a myth and you are blocking your own growth. Why do you need a co-founder? For bandwidth reduction or expertise. Why do you need capital? To hire someone with the skills you don't currently have. Why do you need to learn to code? So you can avoid the need for capital or a co-founder. All of this serves the same basic purpose, bridging a gap that you may not be able to fill immediately. And most ideas will die here. But why should they when you can now convert all of them into an app with a single prompt? There are AI-powered low-code platforms in the market today that can help bypass all these challenges. And Zoho Creator especially goes a step further. With their AI and prompt-based app generation, you can simply describe your idea and the platform will help you build the app instantly, dramatically simplifying the entire app building process. Beyond just developing and deploying, Zoho Creator also makes it easy to manage and scale the apps that you create with minimal coding required depending on complexity. When you build your first app, you can already get very close to the finish line with the powerful combination of human intelligence and AI. But by adding low code, you transform the duo into a trio, one that can take you all the way while potentially cutting development time in half. Zoho's smart AI assistant, co-creator powered by Zia, can work alongside you as your development partner to help you get the job done. Need a basic app to get the ball rolling? Simply tell co-creator your app idea and you will see a full-blown app with the necessary components materializing in a snap. Looking for a tiny little field suggestion to capture that one extra piece of information? Co-creator can recommend one or many. Have code to write? Just ask co-creator and it will generate it for you. Or you could just import your pre-existing data and have that become an app. Zoho will import your data, build all the mappings and schema, and even give you smart suggestions on what could be done with the data. It eliminates all guesswork from your end. All the work and intelligence, trackers and integrations all get built behind the scenes in minutes. You can simply describe your automation needs to Zia, upload a process diagram if you want it to be specific, and Zia will take care of the rest. It automatically generates the code blocks. It even includes comments to explain each section of the code, making it super easy to follow along. You want to create a database of all your vendors? You can just create a form with a prompt. And when it comes to business intelligence, Zia can automatically create reports for you. Now, I have all my vendors' requests on a single sheet, but the order units, due date, all of it is different for each vendor and very scattered. And it is confusing for me as the owner now. What I could do is just type my request as a prompt, have Zia fetch the data from respective sheets and arrange it on a calendar for me. What could have taken me a day to track has happened in minutes now, and now I can focus on actual work. Here's another example. Suppose there's an urgent task you need to assign. All the personal details are already in your database. You can build an AI agent, define a skill, and it'll automatically suggest the best person for the task. You've just automated and freed up your time for more important work. So there's actually no need to be underconfident and stall your growth. Now on to overexcitement. Many businesses fail simply because they couldn't decide on their MVP. An example that comes to mind is Tiny Owl. Tiny Owl was a promising food delivery startup in 2014 before Zomato and Swiggy. It had everything going for it that you would imagine is needed for a startup. Founders that come from credibility, IIT Bombay background, and 5 of them. They had the market with them, they raised capital and were growing quickly. When Swiggy was still a small startup in Bangalore, Tiny Owl would joke that they would acquire Swiggy. In 2017, they were acquired by Zomato. Their fault? Growing too soon, doing everything at once and moving to bigger challenges before ensuring sustainability at the smaller levels. And all this led to mass layoffs, poor capital deployment, a fight among founders and a hostage situation. Literally, the founders were held at their own office by the ex-employees for unprocessed salaries. There are lessons to be learned here. Number 1, you need to establish sustainable unit economics before scaling. Number 2, you need robust organizational structures at all levels during rapid growth especially. And number 3, having a clear capital allocation or funding strategy. And all of this could have been avoided if only they focused on the MVP before trying to do everything at once. Building an MVP and only an MVP first is extremely important because it keeps personal checkpoints realistic. At the MVP stage, you can quickly get feedback and validate your assumptions with real users. And you can tweak the basis of that info without overhauling the entire infrastructure. And it is much easier to pivot at the MVP stage. Building an MVP also solves for correct estimation of market needs, sentiment, demand, and bases that hiring needs and so on. So step 1, build an MVP. And do so in 30 days, not more. Build a paper prototype in week 1, draw out the core user journey, test with 5 people in your network. Week 2, create digital mockups if required, test with more people and validate your core proposition. And finally, finish your MVP with no-code tools and get a working version. Focus on one core component of your proposition first and the rest can grow from there. Then comes the biggest challenge. Step 2. Finding your first customer. You can start by finding your first customer even before launching. Leverage your existing network, check your school and college WhatsApp groups, former colleagues on LinkedIn, and don't start cold emailing yet because you're still trying to find the user persona that would engage with your product. From there, go on to forums, LinkedIn, Reddit, and other online communities, and even attend local startup meets for live feedback on your product. Once you start getting an idea of who is interacting with your business, you can start branding and positioning yourself in your business. Start with LinkedIn and blog posts before going all out with marketing. Create helpful content on platforms where your target audience is. It's important to keep moving when you're in the building stage, but also not to overcommit. Learn, adapt, incorporate feedback, and pivot. The hard truth about building a startup is that it's not going to be perfect from day one. You will find structural gaps, operational gaps, pricing issues that will run you out of the market. But that's okay as long as you solve for all of these foundational issues before you start to scale. One of the most crucial elements of a startup is the feedback loop. Successful founders understand that building a product is not a one-time job. It's an ongoing process that involves constant iteration based on customer behavior, feedback, and market trends. So here is how you can set up a feedback loop for your business. 1. Track daily metrics. Use popular analytics tools to track key metrics such as customer engagement, user actions, revenue, and bookings. These will help you identify where customers are dropping off or what features do they love. 2. Weekly reviews. Every week, review your progress. What worked, what did not work, what should you start, stop, or continue doing. This process of continuous review will help you stay focused on what is important. 3. Monthly deep dives. Each month, analyze broader trends in customer feedback, in revenue patterns, and competitor movements. What new needs or pain points have emerged? What are the competitors doing that you are not doing? This is where you will uncover opportunities for new features or product pivots. The next big hurdle is going to be mastering the unit economics. Essentially, the relationship between how much it costs to acquire a customer and how much that customer is worth to you over time. Here's a rule of thumb, don't follow it blindly, but it should set a good benchmark for your success. Customer acquisition cost plus monthly operating costs should be lesser than your customer lifetime value. For example, if your CAC is 500 rupees and your customer's LTV is 2000 rupees, you are profitable. But if your CAC is 1500 rupees and you're still selling the product for 2000 rupees, you are losing money. Understanding unit economics is essential for staying profitable and growing sustainably. Pricing strategy. Pricing is one of the most sensitive aspects of a startup. A very counterintuitive rule of pricing is that when you reduce the price, you gain customers. But the reverse is equally true as well. Cost is just one of the many factors that consumers look at when making a purchasing decision. Launching Tata Nano with the positioning of the cheapest car will backfire because for the Indian market, the car is an aspirational and status projecting buy. Revenue is a function of pricing, but it is also a function of the number of customers. Revenue is equal to pricing into number of customers. So it may happen that you may be able to clock a higher revenue with lower pricing just because the number of customers increased more. So keep tracking these numbers from your dashboard. Founders can often underprice their product because they lack confidence. But in India, customers often equate higher prices with better quality. This, of course, also depends on the domain and whether it's a product or a service, D2C or B2B, one-time purchase or subscription, and so on. You can also conduct your pricing experiments as follows. 1. Start with competitor pricing plus 20%. 2. Test with the first 10 customers. 3. If 8 out of 10 say yes immediately, the price is too low. If 2 out of 10 say yes, price might be right. 5. If 0 out of 10 say yes, the value proposition is a problem, not the price. Scaling decisions. Finally, once your business is operational and growing, it's time to think about scaling. But scaling doesn't happen overnight. It's about making the right decisions at the right time. The 10, 100,000 rule is a great way to think about scaling. First 10 customers, do everything manually and learn from your interactions. Next 100 customers, automate repetitive tasks and create systems. Next 1000 customers, build processes, consider team or outsourcing. through this ABC journey, you would also want to hire at some point. But that is a decision you will have to take. But you may look at these markers to know when it might be time. If you're doing everything by yourself and you're working 70+ hour weeks consistently, if customer support takes more than 4 hours daily, you are missing sales opportunities due to bandwidth, or the monthly profit of your business is more than 2 lakh rupees consistently for 3 months, then it's time to consider hiring or outsourcing some aspects of your business to maintain quality as you scale. There is advantages and disadvantages to remaining a solo founder, so choose wisely if you want a co-founder or an outsource. And that was it, the ABC framework to start a successful business in 2025. Analyze, but don't overanalyze. Build, but build sustainably. Correct when that is the need. The Indian startup ecosystem has never been more welcoming to founders. Government support through Startup India, digital infrastructure that rivals Silicon Valley, and a domestic market of 1.4 billion people is everything you need at your fingertips. Remember, every unicorn started with a single customer who paid for an imperfect solution to a real problem. Be brave, start today. Your first customer is waiting. My name is Loveena Kamath, and this was your full disclosure. If this video helped you see the path forward, please hit that like button, subscribe for more such videos, and please drop comments telling me what business idea are you going to validate in the next 30 days. See you. Bye.